Hey, it's your girl KV back with another review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 10, episode 7, Between Two Worlds. We know that Love and Marriage Huntsville is going to push it with the puns on people's names, right? If they don't do nothing else, they're going to do that. And as I said last time, y'all, this show is likely gonna be the only thing I'm reviewing right now because Sisters is just way too depressing. I just don't have it in me. I just don't have it in me. I haven't even watched the last episode from last week. So Sisters, we off that for right now. But I did see that Salt Lake City is coming up, so I think I'm gonna give that a go. I've watched it for the most part since season 1, but have never reviewed it. Just because, I don't know, just never really reviewed it. I never knew if I would really like it because the first season was iffy. I didn't watch the second. Third was cool. And then it's coming out with fourth or fifth, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to review that. Potomac should be coming back soon. We saw a trailer. So those two shows and this, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That'll eventually be my schedule. I'll get back onto books and music. And yeah, starting on with the episode. It opens with Destiny and Lance. They're meeting for, what is it, acai bowls to catch up. He kind of acting like this a regular old date, like we just kicking it. But she's just like, he's like, oh, you want to talk to me about something? She's like, you want me to talk, but you don't want to have a baby? Make it make sense. And so he claims that he didn't want to say nothing to her about the baby because he didn't know for sure if the baby was his. You not knowing if the baby is yours is one thing. You not telling her is another. I got friends who was with guys and they was like, hey, I got a baby on the way. Maybe mine, may not be mine, but I ain't with her, so you down or what? And they are now married and stepmamas to them babies. So women really don't be judging like that. If they can see that it ain't no ties and they ain't gotta deal with no bull, especially the women who don't want kids themselves. Oh, I get to be here with a fresh baby from start all the way through, but part-time. I'm telling you, it's really not as taboo as people used to think. Because I was like, once I realized I had more than one homegirl, that, okay, alrighty then. So, yeah, you should have been honest, Lance. You should have been honest. But she's feeling a way that he ain't tell her before posting it. And that's valid. It's one thing to not know if the baby is yours, so you don't want to say nothing, but you're going to post the baby to the world instead of just being like, hey, you know, before you see this or hear this elsewhere, I did have a baby 2 weeks ago. Here you go. And he posted it first. That is insane. He in his confessional acting like saying that he really did like Destiny. He saw wifey potential, like he could have married her, but he did see some red flags later on, and yada, 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 blah, blah. Whatever. That was really the most of that. Well, most of that part. Now to the potatoes. You know how you had a meat and then the potatoes. Here go the potatoes of the episode. Let's hop over to Destiny, where she messed up in Lance's eyes, right? So they are mentioning this security guard that Lance hired for her Madani event, right? Okay, cool. You got an event, public people. You need to have security at your party just for liability reasons because it's your party, people there, right? Well, yeah, she was flirting with the security guard. She liked the security guard. And he's like, no, for starters, I'm like, is this the same dude from the wedding that they was making fun of her for making googly eyes? And Nell ended up being, that's my godson, that's my godson. Don't nobody remember that with me? Because even production didn't play it back. But I'm like, even if she didn't say that's the godson in that moment, you know you met him at Nell's wedding. So he has to have some type of connection to that family. A connection to Nell is a connection to Lance. Am I the only... And then they flashed to the scene at the wedding, right? So that's why I'm like, she can't act like she didn't know that there was some type of ties with these people. At an intimate vow renewal is where you first saw him. Then your boo thing hire him for your security, which I'm like, is Lance playing games? Because you knew from the wedding, from the vow renewal, that she was feeling old boy. So why even hire and put them in the space? Was you testing it? You was like, I might as well throw my brother this business and might as well test to see if she gonna go. See if she don't make a pass, I'll tell her about the baby. If she do, I won't. Was he playing games? Like, I was confused about that part. So he's like, yeah, the security guard that you was digging on, that you was talking to, that's my god brother. It was so annoying. So they say that they never really went anywhere in their relationship, in their little talking situationship, because one, Nell, and they didn't want to have no craziness and dealings around that. And plus they didn't want to ruin their friendship, because this is some people that she's gonna be around. Her and Nell is on this show together. She don't need to have no real friction. She don't need this lady to have real friction. She said, well, since we're talking about security, babe, Trish said that he like me, and if he asks me out, I'm gonna say yes. So how you feel about that? He's just like, it is what it is. I got a whole baby out here. Who are me to block? You know what I mean? Who are me to block? And anyway, so you talking to him, how's that going? She said, you know me, taking my time, taking it slow. He said, yeah, maybe taking a little too slow, maybe taking a little too much time. I said, period. If you had time to make a baby with y'all talking and y'all hadn't even really done nothing like that, y'all claim. I could believe she didn't, because Destiny, I feel like she does these things so that she doesn't have to show her real relationship on the show. I don't think she's serious when she dates Jalen, when she dates Lance. Now, Security Bae, she might be serious about that, and that's why she like, listen, we was just playing, and we know we was just playing. I'm finna move over here, though. When you meet the friend that's really the one you finna be with, yeah, that's what's happening here. I ain't necessarily mad at it. Everybody else like to lie about their relationships, so why give all of yours if ain't nobody else giving all of this? She do this stuff just to have a boo on camera. Now we get to the meat of the episode, okay? The men go to hang out at a virtual golf spot. Now, I can't tell if Lance was there the whole night or if he was just there for the beginning, but we see he is there talking to Reese and Martell about everything with Destiny and him having this baby on her, but they weren't really serious, but they were talking. But he does admit that he had feelings for her and he didn't want to mess it up, and that's why he hid the pregnancy. I said, thank you for finally admitting it, because you just been saying whatever to whoever that sounds good. So he does tell them that he found out she is interested in the god brother. But he like, man, oh well, because I had a whole baby. But they like, no, that's different. That's weird. She don't need to be your god brother. Your god brother. Maurice tells him, why don't you just cut off the water? If you don't want no more kids, cut off the water. I said, ooh. Boy, that's like telling me and they a bitch and they need to go to hell, huh? Unless you a cheating ass nigga, I suppose. Because Reese and Marceau willingly got them damn vasectomies. Like, yep. Martell got an outside baby. Whoo. That could have been any of us, low-key. Let's go. Allegedly. So, Marceau gets there, and he is ready, okay? He's like, if there's a fire to be lit, baby, I'm the match, okay? If you the light, I'm gonna be the fuse. Boom. Okay, he is just so ready, because Martell, this the first time they've seen each other since Martell did the interview? I think it seems that way. So he got all the smoke ready for Martell. Martell in the confessional like, oh, Marceau is two-faced and da-da-da. I'm like, is he? I feel like he was cool when he was cool, but now he matching your energy because you be on 1,000, okay? So pause on that for right now. Ken tells the guys that he's basically feeling ways about Trish and Marquez. It's just ain't nothing moving nowhere, and she still ain't divorced, and this and that and the third. They like, yeah, that's what we've been telling you. It don't take 7 years to get no divorce. It just don't take 7 years to get no divorce, bro. But they said, well, when she does get divorced, are you gonna be ready to get married? No, do you think she gonna be ready to get married? He said, hell, the question is, if I'm gonna be ready to get married. Boy, stop. You still with her. You still on this show talking about her. From the looks of next week's scene, y'all talking about y'all split up, but still look like you in the house that she should have with the kids. I couldn't imagine her and the kids moving out and you staying in the house. So is y'all really broken up, or is y'all like trying to think things through? Because if you live in the same house, you can't be broken up in my eyes. But he claims that she still has some work to do outside of Marquez, okay? She got stuff to deal with herself. And I said, now that's facts. She needs to be in somebody's counseling right now. Once a week. And she knows she's crazy. So next, Martell decides he want to pull a whole facts out on Coleslaw, on Ariana, y'all. It was so crazy. He was like, no, how you know? He goes, host the Ken. How do you know Ariana? He like, I don't know her. I just know that she knows such and such. Oh, such and such said you know each other. I was just trying to make sure. He's like, well, if I did know her, I would tell you. And he gonna say, yeah, that's the real man right there. I said, Martell, who you think you dissing? Because you dissing yourself when it comes to you and Trish lying about not knowing each other. Who he thought he was dissing? Because I'm like, how you sneak dissing yourself, Playboy? That's crazy. That is crazy work. Yeah, that's a real man. Do you not remember just last season you was acting like you didn't know Trish? And then slowly she started getting annoyed and unraveling it, and y'all just had to unravel it to the point where it was like, yeah, you was at the house a few times. Which house? Melody said, which house? The house in the hills or the house up the mountains? Oh yeah, I still lived in that house. You ain't see no pictures? You just bypassed all the family pictures? So Martell, what is we talking about? So Will jokes and is like, well, actually, at first he was like, I just knew her because she was around my baby mama house. That's all I know. But then he comes back and he's like, well, actually, I did used to train back in the day. So she was at the house a couple of times, and they looking like everybody's shocked, like, and we're like, I'm messing with y'all, and like kind of points at Martell because that was Martell and Trisha's story. So everybody cackles. Everybody gets a good brouhaha out of the situation, yeah. Maurice is in the confessional like, oh yeah, Will's got a sense of humor, but you see how assumptions get started. Boy, this is not a teachable moment for nobody, but we're not gonna even. We're gonna walk on by. Who is next? We're not gonna sit with Maurice at all. This episode is not about him and his trifling ways, okay? How he don't even follow his your wife on screen begging you to spend time with your own flesh and blood. That man have some nerve trying to make everything a teachable moment for somebody else. He should be embarrassed, but he's not. Like, you can't tell me that's not a mental illness. I know I be the main one that be annoyed when people be like, oh my God, he's a narcissist. Oh my God, it's OCD. But like something goes on in Maurice's head for him to think that he's supposed to be the teacher and the prophesizer for everybody else in his life when he literally does not step up to be a dad to his stepson and real son. Amazing, you guys. Amazing. The disassociate. All right. The scope they circle back around to Maurice and Martell and their beef and how it's been beef and it's gonna always be beef at this point because you done spoke on me foul. You talking about my wife done slept over here and did this. You done said I had 20 girlfriends. You done spoke on me foul and said that, you know, I was cheating on my wife when I wasn't, but you was, but I was, but you ain't had to make fun of it. I didn't have to make fun of it. They flash back to season 1. I didn't like episode 1. They came out the gate with Marcel being a cheater. Episode 1 was like, well, do y'all believe in respectful cheating? Because I think it's a certain way to cheat respectfully. And everybody was like, it's your anniversary dinner. So yeah, it's been known that he was cheating. So somebody making fun of you cheating, but I guess he like, listen, we all cheat. I just slipped up and got a girl pregnant multiple times, bought her a car and everything. Just all types of insanity. You smash for a couple of years, you keep it moving, you find another one. You don't sit alone and fall in love with. So I've heard. So back to Martell and Marceau. They get to arguing about scope. Martell claims that he helped Marceau start Scope because Marceau had recently gotten fired as a manager at the movie theater. He had a wife and kids at home. He needed something popping. Marceau claims that he owned all of these homes and 8 to 14 unit apartment buildings and he was doing fine, yada, yada, yada. It don't make no sense. Seems like a lot of embellishing, but at the end of the day, Marceau must have had some type of experience to be able to carry the business because we all know that Marceau does not have a builder's license. So there's that. Marceau might be embellishing, but he had to have some type of bones and structure because they were able to start the company and he has had no problem continuing on without Martell. And Martell is over here struggling to get a business license. So honestly, it's like Martell probably used his connections and good look and business savviness to partner with Marceau, who's the real laborer of the thing, and really rode his coattails. We really see that Martell does not do anything on his own. He just partners with everybody and then says, look what I gave to you. Look what I gave to you. Because he went to college. He got a little business-minded sense about himself. He got some connections and things. But he never be the real brains behind the operations. People be able to carry on perfectly without him while he is sitting here struggling with wine and calendars and the suit line that never came to be. So it's like, you brought your part. You brought your connections and your business savvy, but it clearly takes other people to carry it out for it to be a success. So you trying to throw this up in Marceau's face is like, if you really think about it, it's not a flex. It's not a flex. So they arguing and Martell is trying to make it seem like Marceau is just really coming at his neck. He like, well, I come at you because you come at me. You went and got a whole random to come on your YouTube channel to be like, yeah, I mess with them and da-da-da. But you wonder why I'm coming at you when that's what you do to me type deal. So, like I said earlier, he's still mentioning the busy bee comment. He did bring up I made one joke. I said it was probably more than one joke, but I feel you. He was like, I made one joke about somebody's been a busy bee when they all mentioned it, you know. Why wouldn't they celebrate their anniversary? But I apologize because I did realize if he did that to me, if he was making fun of me in my marriage, I would have a problem. So it's like, okay. They go outside. Are they already outside? They go outside. They arguing. Was anything really happening? Let me see. They go outside, y'all. And Marceau is being so petty. He said, you know what? I think I want to eat some coleslaw in the back of a Buick. I said, oh, is that the car that Martell and Ariane got the same of? He bought her a Buick like his. And, you know, coleslaw. Yeah, put extra slaw on my dog. said, Marcel is so petty. He said, man, I'm going to take you to hell with you, okay? He out his country flow. No holds barred, okay? What else? Martell rambling and he like, I felt like, well, this and that and the third, and if we boys, and Marcel like, we not boys. We not boys. We not boys. I feel like I'm missing something from the campfire with the guys outside. Y'all know I be having it playing in a little box in my ear, so if something pop up, don't be surprised if I randomly interjected, even though I've technically moved on from the scene. Next thing we're looking at is Nell meeting up with her boys, her son Lance and her godson Swan. Okay, security babe with the locks in the bun, you know, and there's mushroom bun because it's in the bun, but it's so long that it come back down. I'm like, give me a real bun, babe. Give me a real bun with the half up, half down. Yes. So, like I said, this is the same godson from the wedding, so I'm so confused on why we trying to act like she first started flirting with him when he was a security guard. She was already flirting. Should I would think that you trying to throw me the oop. You saw me Googling and flirting at the wedding. Why would you put this man back in my vicinity? I am confusion, okay? I thought this was the apology for the baby. Hell, I got me one, here go your one. Like, what's happening? Lance tells them about the sit down with Destiny and how she mentioned Twan. She liked Twan. Nell is so offended and she is so deep in Destiny cooch because I get being annoyed because I would kind of be annoyed too. Like, dang, you just be bouncing around for people's family. People's sons are carrying on your little floozy. What is wrong with you? But she doing a bit too much, like speaking on Destiny and who if she did sleep with him. I'm like, if they said they didn't, they didn't. Leave it alone. It's not your place to say who your son is smashing. You weirdo. Nell is like, yeah, she was talking about, you know, she need to evaluate my friendship because she invited Sonny. But she's like, well, I need to evaluate her friendship. It feel like she trying to get with every good looking man around me. The guys discuss the Destiny and Swan feeling her, and Lance is like, you know what, me and Destiny was short-lived. It clearly ain't go nowhere. You got my blessing, okay? I'm like, now if they start dating in real life, don't be out here mad somewhere. And Nell is just like, I know my son. I know you had relations with her. You had to have relations with her. He's denying it, but not necessarily firmly. So who's the care? Who's the noble? Who's the care? Like, I can believe it that she didn't, and that's why he was out here. Nell, first she was saying, oh, if she wasn't giving it up, that makes sense why he made a baby, because he got to get it from somewhere, right? Men got to get it from somewhere. To now, you know your son and they must have did something. Okay, now. Okay. And so, coleslaw in the back of a Buick. A lot of it. So now meets up with Destiny. And I'm like, are they at the same place that Lance and Destiny met up? As y'all got one little salad bar and get your salad and smoothie bowls. I mean, I love it. I be at the Tropical getting me a salad or a wrap and a smoothie or a bowl. I can take it. So Nell and Destiny meet up at that little spot. And Nell, she starts out being super mean, but Destiny breaks all that down, okay? We'll get there. Nell is mad at her for flirting with security, but is acting like she's oblivious to her son having a baby. She said, I was making googly eyes, but your son was making babies. So what are you talking about? And then Miss Nell has the nerve to tell Destiny, well, you got you a whole little roster or something like that. You got you a whole little thing. You got Moses, Jalen, Lance, Twan. She was like, the only of those that I've been with is Moses. So, like, don't be putting miles on my coochie, because, man, what? And I'm with Destiny. Like, what was the point of that? What that have to do with anything now? So, that was annoying. It was just completely just an asinine comment. Now, you too old to be looking so goofy like this. Like, this girl ain't do nothing to you behind your son who had a baby on her. That's what you're doing all this about? Girl, please. Then Nell basically just flat out say, yeah, I think you and my son was sleeping together. Again, she denies it, but not so firmly. Neither one of them are like, why would I lie about that? It's just like, even if we did, that's our business. So I'm like, it is what it is. Let them grown folks have their business. Destiny pulls the vulnerability card, right? And basically pours her heart out to Nell. She says that, you know, she was hurt. She was hurt that Nell was like, I don't know her. I don't know her. Because she feels like Nell has been there for, she said 10 years? I said 10 years, but I think Carlos King did say they've been trying to get Nell and Chris Fletcher on the show. So they might have been around since the beginning, just in the background. And then Chris Fletcher came on a couple of seasons in, a few more seasons in, they bring her in. So I was like, 10 years? She was like, you was with me through my divorce. You spoke words through me, with me through my son being in the hospital. And everybody don't get to see that praying side of Nell, that very supportive side. You know, she's like a mentor to her, like a mother even. Baby, Nell did a 180. Her eyes lit up like, you think you want to call me a mentor? My life's TV work is to mentor these girls into the submission of misogyny, and you mean to tell me I'm actually getting through to somebody? Destiny sees me as a mentor. And Destiny's like, girl, you can't get rid of me. You gonna be my mama one way or the other. And they was just like, I'm just like, this toxic ass friendship. This toxic ass friendship. Y'all, I am screaming. But anyway, that is it for this week's episode. Between Two Worlds. I hate it. Season 10, episode 7. How many episodes did we have? Like 15? So yeah, it's gonna run into the other shows, because Salt Lake City, I think that's coming back within the next month. And then I think Potomac is like within the next 2 months. So y'all will be seeing a little bit more of me. Life just been life, and recently I've been like off script, but I'm getting back on script, y'all, and we're gonna get back to consistency. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like this video, share it with a friend, comment, let me know what you think about this video and with this review in general. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you ain't already. Don't be peeking in through the blinds. Don't be waiting till I pop up on your homepage. Put me there. Put me on that homepage, on that subscription list. Bye.